Does this make you think again about the way you vote?
No, not at all, because I mean I'm inspired coming here. And
so you would still vote for cutting welfare benefits?
I still believe in what I did. What I really believe in is that we need to get people into work and get them the confidence.
By cutting welfare benefits, you make people go to work. Is that the logic?
If you actually, the key objective is getting them into work.
After 5 years of government, are you disappointed that there's a need for something like this?
I'm inspired by the work I see here, rather than sort of disappointed. So
we had over 800 in 1 month.
Yeah.
So we're actually just finalising the figures. But I reckon this year we probably would have done between 2,500 and 3,000 people.
He has been applying for the last 3 months that I know of for benefits and that, and for some reason it's going back and forth, and he's hitting a brick wall all the time, and he literally hasn't got anything.
Give them the advice and help them get, just short-term support to get them back on track.
So you're not disappointed that this is necessary?
Well, I think that's sort of the wrong way of putting it, because I think there's always going to be people in society at some point in time who may be in need.
But shouldn't the government be doing what this is doing?
Well, it depends. I mean, what I was saying just now was, if there's a problem in benefits and I can try and help chase to get those benefits arriving earlier and on time.
In the Parliament, how have you voted regarding benefits, welfare benefits?
You can look at my record.
I have.
You can look at my record on that. So
Yeah.
you can tell for yourself that I've done it. I mean,
so how have you voted?
I've supported the changes in welfare,
which is reducing,
which is about getting people into work, and that to me is always the most important thing. That's important.
Do you think any of those votes may have increased the need for something like this?
I think if you only need to look at the numbers of people now in work, and that has massively increased. Our unemployment here locally in my half of Hounslow is 2%. Longer term is getting them into work, and that's what I've been pushing for. That's been one of my key aims.
Keep hearing about benefits. It's the same problem, keeps arising. Can't get the benefits. Benefits are delayed. Isn't that a government responsibility?
Yeah, but that bit is, I mean, it's not as simple as saying the government fault that the benefit's been delayed. There might be something about this on the application form that they need to fill in. They need support. They need some chasing. There's a whole range of scenarios around it.
I think everybody admires you for coming here, but you have repeatedly voted for reducing or controlling welfare benefits, haven't you?
But we've also got people into work. Here, the government didn't need to say to you, do this. They started this here because they really cared about the community they live in. They cared about the people who live here. Just items as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're obviously got our Christmas leftovers, so we make it.
Good,
so we're treating personal
toiletries. Yeah. That's brilliant. Really, really good. You've got to make work pay. So we've taken 2 million people out of tax altogether, so the lowest paid out of tax, to try and get those people out of poverty and make sure that work pays. And for a while, I mean, I was having people coming to my surgeries and they were getting more on benefits than they would be if they were earning a job. So we had to change that type of scenario, because it's so much better for that individual to be working, if they've got the ability to do it, to be working rather than claiming benefits.
But we're not always talking about old people who wouldn't be in work anyway. We're talking about some people who cannot easily get a job. I mean, they're having difficulty getting a job. So we're not really talking about those, are we?
No, I do think, it's a whole, as I say, it's so difficult to go through every single scenario, because...
Lovely guy that comes in and helps with the stock, and he had a stroke, had to give up his well-paid job as a young child, but now comes into the project and he says, that's given him a whole new lease of life.
I'll help in any way I can.
But how? I mean, is the government going to get involved, or are they not going to get involved?
Well, it depends in ways. I mean, I don't think the government needs to be involved correctly. This is so well organised. The government doesn't need to get involved. But where I can, I can make contacts, I can build the relationships with local businesses, I can help spread the word. Or is a community organisation, made for the community, built for the community, for the community.
Jane, as you remember, Jane was made Volunteer of the Year.
Yes, I know.
She?
Yes, they were. Thanks very much. Would you want government to?
No, I don't think. I think it's really nice that we are actually independent, that we're not affiliated to any political party or anything like that, or any faith group, that we are totally there for the community. And I think it's, testament to the local area that the project has been developed and supported by local people. So no, I don't think the government has a responsibility for that.
I mean, there's people that are struggling because they can't afford to pay for food and pay for the heating, and that is a lot, especially this time of year. And that I'm getting more and more, and there's a lot of properties that, I had one woman in the other day said it costs her £10 for 2 hours just to heat her flat.
When Mary got into Parliament, there wasn't a food bank, was there? Did you know of any food banks?
No,
but there wasn't one in this constituency.
No, maybe not, but nationally.
So why has there been one set up in this constituency during the time of the coalition government?
Well, remember we had the recession that hit everybody.
Do you think that we should be giving £35,000 worth of benefits to someone who's not working? And I sort of think, what I want to do, if they're fit and healthy and able to work, I want to help and support them get into work. Brentford is brilliant.
Exactly.
Do you think it's evidence of an increasing split between the rich and the poor?
Well, I don't look at society in that way. What I want to help are the people who are in poverty get into work. I want to help the poorest in society find a way to get ahead. I don't worry about the very rich, because they're few and far between. I mean, so what I want to do is help those people who you need to give them the confidence, the support, the skills, the ability, the signposting to get the support.
Do you think your constituency is split between rich and poor?
No.
And Chiswick is the rich, and
no.
Then there's
what's
there's some very rich people. There's some very expensive houses. There's one just sold round the corner for £3.5 million.
Yeah, but that's probably unusual in Brentford. But there is rich and poor in every area, in every society. The Brentford and Isleworth bit is, I think, a really exciting time during an election, because it's neck and neck. So it's typically always a Conservative Labour fight, and every vote counts. So if you really want to see democracy in action, it's right here. And that's where I think all political parties, especially myself and my Labour opponent, will be out there on the streets trying to get as many votes as we can, because it absolutely comes down to every last vote. I want people to vote. I want women to vote, because women fought so hard for the vote. If you vote, it's your chance to have a voice. And that's what makes democracy and what we have here so important. So I want everyone to go out there, think about who they want to represent them, and go out there and vote on 7th of May.
Will you take part in a local debate
Definitely.
with